Let's be honest. Are you sick of Champion Chase events? You know, the ones that feel like a total pay-to-win trap. You save up the few shards you have, you pull them hoping for the best, only to watch the top rewards fly by as the other players in your group finish the whole thing in a couple of hours. It's beyond frustrating. But what if I told you there's a nearly foolproof, free-to-play strategy to crush these events? A method that lets you snag all these fragments, the books, and the big rewards without cracking a single ancient void or sacred shard. Today, I'm going to show you how to stockpile points using fusions and training, so you can get every reward every single time, and let the whales have their fun with the shards. Quickly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Charles, a viewer of mine in YouTube that came to me with an idea. I appreciate it, man. Big idea, a total mindset shift. First things first, you have to completely change how you think about a champion chase. It's not a summoning event. I'm going to say that again because it's the most important thing you'll probably hear today. For a free-to-play player, a champion chase is not just a summoning event. It's a resource management event. It's a test of your planning, your patience, and your discipline. The players who win aren't the ones with the most shards. They're the ones who prepared the best. Think of your champion vault, your sparring pit, and that little fragment section in the portal. That's your bank. Every farmable rare, every set of champions for a permanent fusion, every fragment champion you haven't claimed, that's all money in the bank, just collecting interest. The champion chase is simply the day you stroll into the bank and make a withdrawal. For the rest of this video, I want you to stop thinking I don't have enough shards and start thinking I haven't prepped enough points. The mental shift is the key to unlocking everything. We aren't going to rely on a lucky 6% ancient shard pull. We're going to rely on the guaranteed points we've already earned and are just waiting to be claimed. Deconstructing the chase. Know the point system. To pull this off, you need to know exactly where the points come from. Plarium gives you a whole menu of options, but for a free-to-play player, only a few of them are actually worth ordering. The most obvious source, of course, is summoning champions from shards. A rare gives you a few points, an epic a few more, a legendary is like hitting the jackpot. This is the trap. This is what the game wants you to do, and it's about as reliable as playing the lottery to pay for your rent. The odds are just not in your favor. So, we're taking that option completely off the table. Shard pulling for points is dead to us. Real points, the free-to-play gold, come from 3 other places that you have 100% control over. First, and maybe the most powerful, is summoning fragment champions. Whenever you finish a fragment event, that champ just sits in the portal waiting for you. Summoning a legendary fragment champion is worth a massive 500 points. 350 for epics. It's a single click for a guaranteed chunk of progress. No RNG, just pure, reliable points that cost you nothing but your patience. Second is our secret weapon, fusing champions. I don't have any that I can fuse right now. This is the absolute cornerstone of the strategy. Every champion you can fuse has a point value. Fusing the permanent epic Broadmaw, for example, is worth a huge 350 points because he's a void champ. Fusing Relic Keeper is worth 250. The best part, the rares needed for these fusions are completely farmable right now in the campaign. You don't need luck, you just need energy. Finally, there's the champion training event. Fine. This is your filler, your top up, leveling champions and ranking them to give you points. This method is a little bit of a grind and it won't get you to the finish line by itself, but it's a perfect way to get those last few hundred points you might need. So to recap, we ignore shards, we focus completely on fragment summons, fusions, and champ training. That's the game plan. Now let's talk about how to prepare. The preparation phase, building your point bank. What you do in the weeks before a champion chase is going to be what determines your success. This is where you put in the hard work. This is the how-to part of the guide. The pillar number 1, the permanent fusion hoard. This is the most important part of the entire strategy. In the summoning portal under fusions, you've got champions you can fuse anytime, like the Relic Keeper and Broadmaw. Their fusion materials are all rares that drop from specific campaign stages. This becomes your new homework. Your permanent ongoing task in raid is to farm these rares. Here's the process, and it's critical you follow it. Go to the campaign, farm the stages for the 4 rares needed for, let's say, Broadmaw. Once you have them, level those 4 rares, ascend them to 4 stars, and get them totally ready to be fused. And then you stop. You do nothing. You leave those 4 prepared rares sitting in your vault. Do not fuse the epic yet. Why? Because that unfused Broadmaw is now 350 guaranteed points sitting in your back pocket, ready to be cashed in. You're not just farming champs, you're farming points. Your goal should be to have at least 1, maybe 2 sets of these epic fusion materials ready at all times. The players who seem to finish these events effortlessly, they might have 3 or 4 sets of these ready to go. Imagine a champ chase starts and you need 2,500 points. So you go to your fusion tab, you fuse Broadmaw, boom, that's 350 points. You fuse the second Broadmaw you prepared, boom, that's another 350. You're already at 700 points and the event has been live for maybe 5 minutes. This is how you win. Pillar number 2, the Fragment Champion Vault. The next pillar is all about delayed gratification. Plarium runs Fragment events all the time for new champions. Your job is to complete as many as you can. But here's the twist. Once you have the 100 fragments, you do not summon that champion. I know, it's a new shiny champion. You want to play with it, but you have to ask yourself, what's more valuable? A niche legendary that might just collect dust in your vault? Or 500 guaranteed points toward a fusion or a top tier game-changing champion? The kind that we saw with legendaries like Tatura or Helikath back in the day. That fragment champion sitting in the portal is a 500 point coupon just waiting to be redeemed. This is a mindset shift. Stop seeing them as champions and start seeing them as strategic assets. Your fragment portal is your savings account. I personally have a few legendaries and epics sitting here right now. That's thousands of points I can summon with the press of a button. Even if a fragment champ seems underwhelming, banking them for points is always a smart move. Pillar number 3, the food pantry, prepping for training. People always forget the points you can get just from training. While fusions and fragments are a huge boost of points, training is our slow burn. The strategy is here to create a food pantry of champions to be leveled and ranked up for quick injection of points when you need them. As you can see here in my reserve vault, I've got tons of champions just waiting to be fed. Don't mind the empowered ones, they ain't going anywhere, I just needed room. Throughout your daily play, you're constantly getting 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star champions. Don't just feed them away, be methodical. Your goal is to turn them into an army of 4 and 5-star chickens. Before the event starts, use the sparring pit to passively level up your food. Your farming campaign, bring 3 food champs along with your main farmer. The most efficient way to use this food is by combining it with brews, if you have them, which you can get from the clan boss chest every day. Hoard them. Don't use them outside of Champion Chase or a training event. When the chase begins, you can take a level 1 4-star champ, instantly max them out with a few brews, getting a nice chunk of points. Doing this with 10 or 20 pre-prepared champions adds up incredibly fast and ensures you never fall short. Number 4, the Mystery Shards Stockpile. Okay, I said we're not going to pull shards, and I meant it. Well, we're not going to pull ancients, voids, or sacreds, but there is that one exception, the humble green Mystery Shard. You get tons of these just by playing the game. Their main job in this strategy is to fuel your food pantry. Cracking open a few hundred Mystery Shards will give you all the common and uncommon champs you need to start the leveling process. However, they also serve as a tiny emergency reserve. If you're, say, 50 points away from a huge reward and you've used everything else, pulling a big batch of Mystery Shards will probably get you a few rare champions, pushing you over the finish line without touching your real shard stash. Think of it as the spare tire in your car. You hope you don't need it, but man, you're glad if it's there. Alright, quick pause. I want to hear what your resource bank looks like. So, drop a comment below. How many Fragment champions are you holding on to in your portal? Are you a hoarder like me, or do you summon them right away? There's no wrong answers. I'm just curious what everyone's strategy is. The execution phase. Cashing in your point. The Fusion Cascade. Next, we head to the Fusion building. Time to unleash that secret weapon. We grab those 4 prepared level 44 star ascended rares we've been saving. We click the button, we fuse Broadma. Boom. That's another 350 points. And just like that, with 1 Fragment Summon and 1 Epic Fusion, that's 850 points we're at. We've likely already cleared a major milestone, and we're well on our way. If you are diligent and prep multiple fusion sets, just repeat the process. This is how you see players with thousands of points. It's not shards, it's a deep bank of prepared fusions. If you're training top up, at this point, you see where you are. Let's say the top reward is at 3,000 points and you're at 850. You still have a ways to go. You could use another fragment or fusion if you have it. Or now, it's the time to open that food pantry. You take all those 4 and 5 star chickens you prepped, head to the tavern, and start pouring in those brews. Each level ticks up the point total. You rank them up for more points. This isn't a panic grind, it's a calculated use of your resources to close the gap. A few dozen prep champions can easily turn into another 1,000 to 1,500 points when you absolutely need them. Following this 3-step process, fragment, fusion, and food, you can easily generate thousands of points with 0 RNG and without touching your valuable shards. This is your path. Alright, so let's get on to some tips and tricks. Alright. Now that you have the core strategy, let's cover a few advanced nuances. First, Champion Chase versus Summoning Rush. It is critical you know the difference. Summoning Rush gives you points for the shards you open. A Champion Chase gives you points for the champions you acquire. No matter where it comes from, our strategy works for Champion Chase because a fused legendary is worth the same 500 points as one from the Sacred Shards. But ours is free. Never confuse the two. This strategy is for Champion Chase only. Second, the Mercy System exception. I've been strict about not pulling shards, but there is one tiny exception. If you're meticulously tracking your pulls and you know how near you are to your Mercy for a legendary, Based on community tracking, this is often estimated to be around 200 ancients or void shards without a legendary. If and only if you are in that specific situation, pulling that one shard can be a strategic move, but this is a rare exception, not the rule. Third, it's the power of the overlaps. Always look at the event calendar. A champion chase that overlaps with a champion training event is a gold mine. You get to double dip. Every point from leveling your food is also earning rewards in the other event. That's maximum efficiency. Finally, this is a long-term vision. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a cycle. The moment you finish one champion chase, you best believe you should start preparing for the next one. Go back to the campaign and start farming the rares you need for that Broadmaw. Look at the next Fragment event and decide if you're going to complete it or bank it. True free-to-play dominance isn't about single victories. It's about creating perpetual motion machine of resource generation. In conclusion, so there's a secret. The curtain has been pulled back. Champion chase events aren't a pay-to-win trap. They're a preparation test. And now you have the answer key. The strategy is simple. Hoard permanent fusions, bank your fragment champions, and prep a pantry full of food. Then, when the event starts, you can just cash in your saved up points in a controlled, predictable way. You trade patience and planning for guaranteed rewards. You don't need to spend money to compete. You don't need insane shard luck. You just need a better strategy. This is the strategy. If this guide helped you rethink your approach, if you're ready to start collecting every reward from here on out, do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe for more free-to-play guides that actually work. It just goes to show that with smart planning, any free-to-play player can compete and win in Raid Shadow Legends. Now stop worrying about those shards, start farming your fusions, and go get those rewards. Until next time, happy raiding.